Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the spherical globe. It is me, Dylan O'Donnell, on the Global Star Party. We are talking to Johnnie Charlton, who jumped on one of my photos recently on Facebook and had some doubts about the photo and about space in general and the shape of the world. So welcome, Johnnie Charlton.
Yeah, hi Dylan. How you going?
Can you good. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, your like level of education and background?
Yeah, just standard education. Sort of born in England, came out from England, came to New Zealand when I was 8 years old. We sailed across from London all the way across the ocean over to New Zealand. Been here in Byron Bay for about 8 years, and 2 years ago, someone at work just mentioned to me out of the blue and said to me that did you know the Earth is flat and stationary? And I thought to myself, well, what are you talking about? And the usual response from flat Earth and globe, because I'd never heard anything so ridiculous. But it's been 2 years since I had that conversation with that guy. In those 2 years, I've seen a lot of inconsistencies of what I was taught at school and to the reality that I actually experience here in my day-to-day life. And when I saw your thread and I saw the beautiful shot you took of the moon and the image of the frames that you took, and you said it was the ISS, part of my, that's it, beautiful. And what I questioned is what I've looked at everything to do with the ISS, is I've seen that it's full of inconsistencies. And the more I've looked, I found it that there is no International Space Station up there.
So let me stop you there, Johnny. What do you think is going on in this photo? What do you think I'm doing to get this photo?
Right. So now I'm not questioning the photo. What I'm questioning is that you're saying it's the ISS, and I asked for proof. How do you know it's the ISS, or the International Space Station? Because I've been looking for proof of that it is what you say. Now, I know you believe that what you see is what it is. I'm not questioning that. That's fair enough. But when I question the truth that it is the ISS, I find nothing but deception from NASA. It is.
Now, you know that there is a live stream and we can look at the space station at any moment and we can see that the world is round. Like right now, this is it right now.
Right. So to me, with 2 years of looking at photos or images or live streams, that to me, when I look out here at reality, that is not a reality. That is not live stream. Look. What I see is the same image I've seen for the last 2 years. A little pizza slice. And they say that's the Earth. That is a pizza slice. Nowhere is the live stream zooming in, out, or anyone on the ISS with a camera, handheld, camera shake, background noise of the ISS, and talking, chatting, laughing, out the window, zooming into the Earth, panning around. Anywhere in the last 16 years, I cannot find a single bit, what I would call proof, that they're up there taking real images. And I see this, and it doesn't make sense to me.
You know that you can just point a Yagi antenna straight to the space station as you watch it go overhead. You can tune in and actually listen to the communications chatter between NASA and the astronauts. You can do this yourself with an antenna.
That's the impression you get. How do you know that's what's happening? Now I asked this question.
All the evidence in the world right now that proves that the world is round and the ISS exists is actually already there and is actually in 100% agreement from academics around the world. The burden of proof is actually on you to show me that the ISS is fake. Do you have any actual evidence that the ISS is fake?
Yes, I have absolute proof. Now,
yep, what's that?
Let me explain something. I'll tell you a story. When I was 8 years old, I came...
No, I don't want a story. I just want the evidence. You said you had absolute proof.
It's important because to get this, you will not understand my evidence without this point. Because when I say the Earth is flat, and all the evidence you say points to it being a globe, if I find a lie in that evidence, then everything about the globe falls apart. Now, I found that lie, and it rips apart everything. But you have to understand that not everybody is lying. Because let me explain. Look, when I got home from school, my brother used to lock me out of the house for 2 hours. So I got really pissed off with this, and I threw a stone. I smashed the window. Now, I knew when my dad got home 2 hours after, we were there, that when he saw this smashed window, I was going to get, the good old whack. So I made a story up, and I lied, and I said, oh, Dad, this garden pick has fallen against the window, and it's broken it. And in that lie, he then turned around and asked me, well, what's the garden pick doing out in the garden? It was in the garage this morning. I said, well, I had to lie again to explain, well, I'm going to dig up the strawberries. So I did 2 lies. Now, the next day, the repairman came along, and my dad believed what I said, and he told the repairman for the window, when he asked him, how did the window get broken? He told the truth, because I told a lie, and he told the guy that the window got broken with a pick. Now, my dad was not lying. He was deceived by me. I knew I told a lie. Now, I've seen the original lie from NASA. When you see the original lie, everything under that is deception. So the pilot, the engineer, the people in planes, they are not lying when they say that the Earth is round. It's the people, the NASA that told the original lie. The pilots now are telling the truth. They think they know from what they've been told from the lie, which is the deception, that everything...
Hang on, the bulk of the evidence shows through experiments you can do at home, experiments you can do on the beach, from the data that we get from NASA, from the data we get from ESA, from the data we get from competing countries who don't cooperate with each other and who don't even communicate with NASA as an agency, all point to the reality of the situation. Not just the ISS, but the Hubble telescope, the Mir space station, the Chinese space station. They're not unique, and they've all been done in isolation to each other as well, without the cooperation between nations. Now, you say that you find one thing that you don't understand and suddenly the whole thing falls apart. That is definitely flawed logic.
Okay, so I'm not saying I don't understand. I saw them lie. Now, in 1965, this is NASA footage, not mine, original NASA footage. I saw Ed White do a spacewalk on the TV. Now, I know this is such a hard thing to get, but I've been looking at this for 2 years. Now, okay, I'll get back to Ed White. He, on his spacewalk, was filmed doing the spacewalk for 12 minutes. In the space of that 12 minutes, the Earth was rotating one way. Within the next 6 minutes, the Earth rotated the opposite direction. It is, and that's just one of the inconsistencies. Now, I know what the truth is in this life. I've lived enough and I know enough what is truth. When the truth never needs defending. And when I finally had some questions in my mind that says, hang on, did they go to the moon? What's all this? The inconsistencies about what they tell you they did. The truth never needs defending. The flat Earth, water, always, the ocean, always level. I've sailed across it, flown across it. I don't need to defend it. It's the truth.
Okay, look, Johnny, here's an experiment you can do on the beach at Byron Bay that might help, show you pretty clearly that the get your binoculars out and just look out to sea and have a look at boats on the horizon. You'll see the boats that are further away from you dip below the horizon. It's really a very simple concept. It's just scale. The further away things are, the further along the curve they are, and they disappear out of view.
So we've got the P900. Everyone's familiar with that, one of the most amazing cameras that's come out. Before the P900, when people didn't have access to standing at a beach looking and the horizon is completely nothing there. You zoom in with a P900 and you can bring that boat up. Now, before that, if there was a boat...
No, you can't. No, you can't. And you don't need a P900. You can do it with a mobile phone on a telescope. You can do it with binoculars. You know, these are not isolated examples. Here's an example in Spain where 20 kilometers away, because you can't look more than about 17 kilometers. That's when, from about standing height, the edge of the curve goes out from around you. So you can't see the bottom of these buildings here, which are on another piece of land in Spain off in the distance. Here again is another example that you don't even need two boats. This is the difference between simply standing up and sitting down. Image with the same camera, standing up and sitting down. And the difference of 4 feet shows you the curvature of the Earth. How simple does this have to be?
It does seem simple, yes. And I can simply explain the opposite. And that's what's really such and then this is one example. And I've spent 2 years seeing that, and that's exactly what you just said. I absolutely would not have questioned. But when I did question, and I've seen as much evidence as you can throw at me, I can equally throw you equal evidence to the opposite. Everything about the flat Earth and the globe model, it's an unbelievably big subject, and we can go on and debate these things.
We can go on. Here's another one where a guy sent a sex doll into space using a weather balloon. Now, you can pay a bunch of high school students to send your business card into space if you want to, and they'll just take a weather balloon and send it up there. And you can clearly see the curvature of the Earth. You don't have to rely on NASA.
Yes, you can see the curvature. Now, Dylan, 4 days ago, just before that, now everyone's familiar with Mythbusters. Mythbusters got in a high altitude plane. Now, this is classic. They went up to 75,000 feet and dipped the plane down, looked out the window and said, well, would you look at that? Would you look at all of that curvature? Now, someone looked at that and he straightened up. And when he looked straight on and behind him, no curvature in the back view. But this guy took it a step further. He just launched 4 days ago a hot air balloon and went 25,000 feet above that plane from the Mythbusters. Took it to 100,000 feet with this balloon. And he had 2 cameras on his balloon. He had a fisheye lens and a lens that was as close to the human eye as possible, simultaneously casting it on the internet now. And he showed the footage of Mythbusters when he's going, oh my God, look at the curvature. You're watching TV. It must be true. And 4 days later, it was absolute Mythbusters. There you go. I would have watched that 2 years ago and thought, well, fuck these, flat tards, whatever. And that was bullshit. How do you explain that?
Johnny, if the lens is an issue, then the object in front of the camera will also be distorted. This looks like a pretty normal Lego minifig to me.
What?
These are high schoolers just sent up a Lego into space with a camera. You can see the curvature of the Earth. If the lens was causing the distortion, if the lens was causing the curvature of the Earth, you would also see the same distortion in the figure. Same as with the sex doll. That's why we have something in frame here, so you can see that the lens isn't distorting anything. Now, if a 12-year-old can do this, how are they in on the conspiracy? How is NASA paying them? What is the point? I guess is what I'm saying. What is the point? the world being flat and then being hidden from us as some sort of agnostic, truth?
So first of all, most of us aren't in on any conspiracy. We're just being deceived.
I get that. I'm asking you what the point of the original conspiracy is. What is the point of NASA lying and doing all this? And what is the point of the Earth being flat and then us being told it's not?
Well, it's that fundamental question. It's from what I understand, it's a very controlling thing. When you tell people that the Earth is round, you're controlling them and screwing with their minds and that. And so, I mean, it's beyond me to comprehend that. I can understand what's happened. I've seen the lie. But when they control, I mean, you imagine.
Who? America?
Pardon?
NASA is an American organization. Do you think this is a NASA American state-based conspiracy?
No, I'm not. It's not a conspiracy. The word is too loaded. It's not. It's either the truth or it's not. And when you see that someone
is hiding the truth from us at a governmental level, that's a conspiracy by the very literal definition of the word.
Conspiracy. So I look into finding out for myself what is the truth in my experience. There's no one ever in the last 2 years been able to prove how water can curve around a ball.
Hang on. I asked you what the point of this hidden truth is. What is the point? And you're giving me some vague answer about control. What's the point?
Well, from my point of view, it's almost religious, because when NASA says that there's all this infinite space and we came from a big bang, or all the story that comes with it, that denies what the other side of that story is, not religious, but that everything was created. They're the two stories running in this society with people's minds. You either believe in a big bang, or you believe in a God that created everything, or a big bang that everything was random and everything was randomly happening. We've randomly got a phone here to talk on. And so someone's got hold of and says, well, hang on, we're going to control everybody through the TV, through the media, because we own it all, through the governments, through everything, right at the top. Because when you see the lie, everything under that lie is deception.
Hang on. There are two groups of people, some that believe in creation and some believe in the science Big Bang Theory. If someone's trying to control us all, they're not doing a very good job of it, considering there are two opposing viewpoints.
That's fucking brilliant. They fucked everyone over. It's unbelievable when you see the lie.
I still can't see the point. What is the point of doing that?
Because it hides something. It hides the creation. It hides a God. It hides something, whatever. It's not even a something. This is just life. It was created. They've controlled us so much that we all believe in a big bang. It was randomly. Reality is here. I can see reality right looking at it. But when we go in our minds, because they control our minds and tell us all
whoa. This is getting pretty out there. Let me just get this straight. You think that we're being told that the Earth is round and that light is coming from stars and the Big Bang and science and all that, in order to hide the truth that there is God and that God is real? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Because if there is a God, they're doing a pretty good goddamn job of hiding it, aren't they?
Well, no, not really, considering that religion is way more dominant than unbelief.
Well, that's good to hear, but not when NASA puts it all through the TV and tells us otherwise.
NASA is an American agency. Do you think that the Americans are trying to cover up the existence of God?
When you look into it, from what I've seen, absolutely, because they are an entity unto their own. And when you see how it all spreads out, how it's all, I mean, this has been the most fascinating 2 years of my life. No, I don't want the Earth to be flat or round, or there to be some cover up. All I've done from the very beginning is have the most open mind, not caring either way, and coming to my own intelligent conclusions.
But just to be clear, you think the country that is having trouble even holding an election without having their emails revealed has managed to conspire to hide the reality of a flat Earth?
They're absolutely so dumb. You name whoever under the original people who control, and it's only a few people, an organization, a cult, whatever you want to call it, and you can find you. I mean, it's a labyrinth, but anyway, the ones at the top, all the puppets, everyone underneath doesn't know they're being deceived. So they can be thicker, intelligent scientists, rocket science underneath the original lie. We believe the deception. We believe anything we're told. We believe some mathematics or some science. We believe this. The picture you show me is real. For me, I thought that was absolutely the truth.
Well, that's not how the scientific method works. The scientific method is just you have data, and when the data works, everyone has a discussion about it. They peer review it. And when it becomes something that you really can't explain any other way, you have a solid theory. Now, there are areas of science which are still contentious. You know, people still have different issues on the level of climate change and human-based climate change. But this is not one of those areas, Johnny, which is what strikes me as fascinating, is that this is really so simple to prove to yourself on the beach, to prove to yourself with your own camera. Have you ever gone out and done any of this yourself? Have you ever flown your own weather balloon? Have a look.
Instant, Dylan. Dylan, you're sitting there in a chair right now. Can you feel the Earth rotating?
You do know how relativity works, yeah?
No, I'm going to keep this really simple.
Yeah, I can keep it really simple too. You could fall out of you can fall down an elevator shaft, and if the elevator's going at the same rate that you're going, everything will appear still to you. It's a very simple Einstein's theory of relativity.
Dylan, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I know Dylan, right now you're sitting there. Can you feel the Earth moving or rotating?
Everything is moving around me at the same time, including the air around me. It's not like the air is going to whoosh past my hair.
Dylan, I'm going to be so simple here. Answer the question. You just have to answer it. Can you feel the motion?
No, of course not. In the same way that a bacteria in the ocean can't feel the flow of the sea.
Reality does not need defending. I stay here, so true. Every day of my life, it has never, ever moved. Now, you need to go off into explanation. You need to go off into science. You need to go off into space. You need to go to NASA with their pictures and live feed. It does not move.
You know what, Johnny? They say, atheists say the best way to convince someone else to become an atheist is to get them to actually read the Bible. The best way to convince people that the Earth is actually round is to listen to a flat earther. You've had a good platform here, and I think you've done a good service for us all. I have to go back to work now, but thank you for your time, and I've really enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. So have I, actually, and thanks for the opportunity. It's been good. Thank you.
No worries. Catch you later.
All right, John. Thank you. See ya.